Now I'd like to explain the creation of our universe, to get the idea of that. First, there was no Big Bang. I'd like to explain the creation of our universe and the creation of, say, social media. The idea of Mark Zuckerberg creating Facebook, a way to people to share ideas and communicate with each other. So if you take the idea of creation of a universe as someone like Mark Zuckerberg, somebody coming up with the idea, the concept of, say, Facebook, and then a lot of people say, hey, I like that idea, I'd like to join. So all these other people join. That's the idea of all these people creating Facebook pages with different interests, hunting, fishing, trains, or local buy and sells, and all the other different groups on Facebook. So this explains the idea of how when everyone would join, and then when you create the idea of all these different Facebook pages, that's like everyone joins and everyone then creates the idea of creating galaxies within the universe. Now, say, to explain the idea of a galaxy would be the idea of explaining as Craigslist, where within a galaxy is the idea of Craigslist. You have all these categories of buy and sell, people looking for things. People have furniture for sale, antiques, collectibles, cars. You have vintage cars, new cars, different age groups of cars, and price groups, whatever. And this is the idea of creating planets and different things, say, within the idea of a galaxy. Now I'd like to explain another idea. I've gone through extensive hypnosis, like the Dolores Cannon type of hypnosis. I am a hypnotherapist. I also work with people going through everything, which I'll get to in a minute. But I just want to explain the idea of different universes. You have different universes, say, you can have a color universe, a crystal universe. Let's take the idea within our own solar system. We have a big, huge planet called Jupiter. Has all these different swirling colored clouds and all these intermixing of all these different things. Now let's imagine that all of this mixing of the gas or liquids or whatever it is, that all of this mixing, that it is fluidic, that it's fluid. So now let's imagine that Jupiter is a fluidic universe. By the way, if you're kind of half intelligent at all, you know there's something going on at Jupiter. There's a lot of intelligence, some kind of stuff going on there, which I can do some hypnosis with you and you start figuring there's something going on there pretty quick. Now, the reason I'm explaining the idea of the creation of the universe the way I did is because the fact that there's a guy called Dr. Royal Rife, and he invented a thing called a spectrometer and bioresonance healing. What he proved was that everything has its own, that everything is light energy, and everything has its own light frequency. So therefore everything is basically holographic. So everything you see around you, the idea, because all you scientists, you're thinking everything is matter, but matter is just the lowest, like, density, like Earth is the lowest density game experience within a holographic universe. I have other videos explaining manifestation, how to play with it, because like Lego and Play-Doh, you create the reality of, you create your own reality, but it's the intensity of the passion of the feeling. So yeah, watch my other videos explaining message and crop circles and dimensions and so many other aspects of everything, explaining extraterrestrials, how, telepathy, I'll just give you a little short hint about telepathy. I'll ask you with a joke here, okay? What happens when you put two empaths in the same room? What happens? Telepathy? Anyways, what telepathy is basically is the more openness that you are, the more open you are to everything. So as we are shifting in with ascension to a higher conscious level, which people have really shifted a lot lately now with this election. And now it's 2017. A lot's going on. People are shifting, and people are opening up more. So this is the idea. When we are in the densest game of all of creation, this Earth game, everything is so dense, and we have to communicate with language. Even though we have a bit of intuition, but as we are shifting, we'll have more and more intuition. And when I meet people who are very empathic, because I am telepathic, I tried to teach this to people many years ago, but nobody could get it. But now, as you become more and more empathic, you have more and more intuition about things. And as you start communicating with more and more people who have more intuition, you start sensing and knowing what they're thinking, what they're saying, what they're feeling. Anyways, I just thought I'd explain that about the universe. I got many other videos to explain a lot of things, a lot in great detail about many things. So, thank you. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about how maybe big your consciousness really is. Oh, yeah. I'll ask you a simple question. Who created the earth? We did. And then why I say that is because we have a history of our parents, grandparents, and even ourselves, what we've done in our own past. And this is called history. And we take the collective history, which you'll look at of humans, going back into, they found copper mines, that the Minoans were mining copper on the south side of Lake Superior, 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. You find all kinds of pyramids, all kinds of other anomalies that are 10s, 20, 30,000 years old, some of these things. So, we've been here a long time, so that's our history. So because they've created that history, and as we are experiencing collectively, we are creating the history of the world, and therefore we are creating the experience, and the history is the evidence of that we have created the earth experience. Now I ask, who created the galaxy? We did, because we are part of Earth, which is part of the galaxy, which is co-creating with every other part of the whole thing. So now I ask you, who created the universe? Well, we did, because we are Earth is part of the galaxy, which is part of the universe. But also the idea of who created Facebook. Well, someone come up with the concept of Facebook, but if no one joined it and no one interacted with it, well, Facebook wouldn't really exist. There wouldn't be much of an experience. So it's collectively all the experience of everyone experiencing in the universe. So we're all co-creating the universe simultaneously. This helps you to understand extraterrestrial life, because they're all telepathic, because they're all full of love. Their conscious are expanded. In hypnosis, I connect with lots of people with the Galactic Federation, other aspects of themselves. But what we find out is that we are eternal beings, and we've been around forever and ever. And we've been in so many different shapes and forms in so many other universes. It goes on and on. There's no end or beginning to anything. So the whole idea really of the idea of God, heaven, is like an endless ocean of waves, constantly waves of energy mixing and swirling and interacting with each other. And it's ever expanding, always changing. And in this way, creation never gets boring or stale. Just so when you look in the mirror, you start to understand who you really are. And the best evidence of all of this is reading Dolores Cannon. That's Dolores Cannon, Cannon. She developed a lot of hypnosis, and through all this, she kept going, asking more and more questions, more and more, going deeper and deeper, and she found all this out, that basically kind of what I'm explaining to you, that in hypnosis you'll find that you have been around forever and ever and experienced so many different things. And the idea of heaven is that you're always busy doing something. You're not just sitting around. and earth and everything is part of heaven. So it's all that is. There's nothing more because everything is shared. Everything all is. And this also gets into the idea of, some people have an idea of a hell. Well, there's no such thing as a hell, and a devil. Well, there's no such thing as a devil. There's the idea of when you're in low density reality like this, you create your own devil. The idea of someone doing evil, but it's not a devil. It's just a low density game, a low density reality. You think you're in a pit of darkness, and you think you think all the creepy crawlies are trying to get you, and it's ruled by fear, and that way you think everyone's trying to get you, so that you react to the events at hand, and because you think this is all there is, it's like you're not like in the idea of heaven where everything, a constant endless ocean where everything is always mixing and swirling, and forever and ever. You're like separate. You're like this little mud puddle, and you're confined to your conscious to this little mud puddle, and you react to every little thing that goes on in that mud puddle. But if you knew you were part of a never-ending ocean of energy constantly being mixed, and all these experiences being shared forever and ever, and it's always expanding constantly, and everything expanded sharedness, then people would not do the idea of the bad things they do, what you would call evil here on earth. Thank you, and I hope you watch many of my other videos. A lot of it over the years. I will get into a lot more details of things when the time is right, for the information to become out. By the way, this is called disclosure. Disclosure is not really about people like governments having extraterrestrial spacecraft and things like that, or even the existence of extraterrestrials. Disclosure basically is who and what we really are, what Earth really is, what the galaxy, what the universe really is, what it's really all about. So when you look in the mirror, smile and say, I'm in love with everything. Everything is amazing. Because it really is.